Hi, my name is Jordan Howard. I'm here at Wilkinsburg High School. Today I want to raise a question to you. PSSAs or learning for a lifetime? Here at Wilkinsburg High School, we have lost many advanced placement and honors courses, extracurricular activities, and elective classes, all for preparation for PSSA testing.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Well, the PSSAs are starting soon, and I really don't have time for this. I have a lot of other things I should be doing.
Me too.
For me, it's not the fact that the PSA takes a lot of time, but it's just how our school just like shoves it down our throats all year. And I feel like as a senior, I can be preparing for, SATs and ACTs, and the school hasn't offered any of that to us at all. I mean, they give us fee waivers, that's the only thing they do. And then sometimes they advertise for classes that universities might be doing around the time, but I feel the school should be doing more. And then, and not for the seniors though, but also throughout the years, like how they train us for the PSSAs, it should also be SAT, prep on the side too.
I agree. I was just like, PSSAs for the 9th grade, we're really basing, like there are some kids that want to do art or want to do something else, and they're putting us all for PSSA. They're taking out our math or our reading classes to put us in a homeroom class that they may teach geometry, maybe even another class to make us do another reading class when we were supposed to already be in a reading class with the teacher who went to school to teach reading. And it's just like, why take that time out to make another teacher teach that subject if that's not what they teach, and take it away from the teacher that does teach it?
You know what's really interesting? The fact that we already learned all this stuff they're doing in PSSAs at an earlier grade level or why do we have to do it over? That's what I don't get. This is stupid part. I understand, you gotta make sure we remember all this stuff, but I think we would. It's not that hard. It was simple math. I mean, who can't do simple math?
But then, to be honest with you, I forget that stuff over time because I do pre-calculus. Like, who's gonna remember geometry and algebra 1? Like when you're stuck learning functions for pre-calculus or trigonometry.
But the time we take doing studying for PSSAs and taking a whole semester of classes, we could be doing an extra elective that that could actually bring up our credits if we need extra credits. It's just so much time consuming, so much time wasted when we could be doing way more important things. I just don't like it.
I mean, it is important in a sense, but it's just how the school goes about it, just cutting our classes to try to squeeze this in for us to learn it. Like, no, there should be, if you do want it, then there should be a class for it, not trying to cut other classes so you can save time or save money for not paying more teachers so they can actually teach this subject to us.
They're actually taking out real good classes, like our African American history class is out. What else is out? Like Woodshop, Spanish.
I was actually supposed to have statistics this year too, so that's not even an object.
There's no more AP classes.
There's no honor classes at all
It's
this
like
year.
there are kids that are in honors and should still be in honors, but they're being forced to be in a class of people who are at the average learning instead of like helping they're like the honors are ahead of the average, and sometimes in class, because the honors feel that they're over the average, they can say stuff like, oh, you're not going to do this right, you're not doing that right, and they try to take over, and they try to say like, I put in more effort because I'm an honor, but I'm in average classes. Honors should be back in here so that the students who are honors should be split up from the averages, because the average, they feel like they can't do it because the honors are showing their abilities and they don't believe in themselves with the averages.
Not everybody learns the same way.
Yeah, but also honors might not take it as serious, because I know some of my classes I'm just like, oh, this is easy, like whatever, and I can just get my work whenever.
But you see other people struggling, like, oh, I don't know how to do this.
Like some projects I feel like shouldn't take as long as they should, but it's like you're in an average class, so you kind of do have to extend that date because not everybody can get it done at the same time you think it should be done at.
Yeah, you're right.
But while we're still on the topic of accelerated learning, our school doesn't even have that, do they? No. Man, that's messed up. I've been trying to get a class like that, and they basically, I've done so many other subjects that why'd I have to go all the way back to simple math and simple reading? I've done this already.
Yeah.
I know you might say I forget it, but I should be in an accelerated learn. So no accelerated learning, and they put me all the way back to do PSSAs. That's not my stuff. It's not my stuff. I'd rather get what I need to be done. While I'm wasting time studying for PSSAs, I could be doing personal development. I know nothing about social graces. I don't know how to eat at a dinner table. I don't know how to treat a lady at a special. I don't know that stuff. Why did they get rid of that? I think that was a way more important class than PSSA class will ever be. Yes, that's what I.
My name is Tyler, and I have a question. How do you think that education being test-based instead of hands-on is hindering more than helping?
That's a fastball with a curve coming through. I actually think you need both. I really do, because nothing in the world beats hands-on. I'm going to be honest. Nothing in the world. That's called on-the-job learning, and you have to have hands-on. But again, if you don't know how to study, what good is hands-on? You see what I'm saying? If you don't know how to study, I can give you hand-on experience every day. When you leave that job, you're not going to study what you say you desire to be. So at the end of the day, yes, you still need that, because it's going to teach you how to study. Like I said, studying is more than just school. Studying is the key of life. So the more you study, the better you become. So the better you become, when you get that job or when you get in a situation in the classroom where you have to have hands-on experience, you know how to study to make sure that you're learning what you need to be successful. So you want to make sure that you have the best of both worlds. Because when you step into the world, particularly as you grow up, you enter your career, as we talked about before, and more importantly, have a family. You're going to have to understand the best of both worlds, because what we deposit in you is what you'll deposit in your family. And so we have to make sure that it's more than just on-the-job training, that it's also theory and training, because sometimes theory becomes reality in certain situations. And if you know how to study, you'll know what to see when it's your time.
Okay, good. And
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I wanted to ask a question. What do you think about the education budget cuts, not just from, like, the budget that's been cut through Congress or whatever, but how it affects schools like Wilkinsburg, the inner city schools, where our test scores aren't always the highest, but that isn't a reflection of our school, because we do have students that truthfully and do honestly care about their schooling.
Sure. And I think that any time that you cut money from public education, you do a disservice to our youth. I think if one budget should never get cut, it should be the budget for education. Because education is your education is your key out. I'm going to be honest with you. Education is your key out. You can't get out of no situation that you may be in without education. So us knowing that, the one budget that should never, ever be cut is education. And when you cut the budget of education and say that you're going to bring a reform for public schools, and you don't say what that reform is, but you cut the money, you put the cart before the horse. So now you got many school districts throughout this Commonwealth that have no money to educate our kids. That's crazy. They can find more money for jails, but they can't find more money for education. That's ridiculous. It should never be that way. So what we have to do, or what you have to do, us together has to do, is we have to be able to make sure that our voices is heard. And see, that's where the process of voting is so important, because there's only one thing politicians understand: votes, because they count the number of votes. A lot of times you hear people say your vote don't count. Well, if our vote would have counted and we would have voted for a different governor, we wouldn't have a situation like we have now, where the state cut 50% of education and you got classrooms that don't have books for kids.
Hi, my name is Lena, and I have a question. In our school and many others, they cut out classes and let go of teachers on payments and other stuff, so that we would be able to have a time for learning for PSSAs and taking out other classes that we have, making us go to another class with a teacher who doesn't teach the class we were just in. And it's like most kids, what they cut out, most kids wanted to be in that section of life when they got out of school. And it was like affecting some of the students on what they want to do. Some students, they don't feel like they're getting, they say they want to do to help us create a better world. But what we want to do to create a better world, they're taking out and taking away from us.
Because here's the other thing on why I say it's a two-way street. You also should be meeting with the administration. And I know that you've done a lot of things. I've read the article in the paper, the whole nine. But you need to be talking about what you need so that when you're speaking as a voice, and when you're speaking as a voice, you're saying, here's some of the issues that we need to get addressed right now, because even though we're leaving or we're in the 11th grade or the 12th grade getting ready to graduate, we want to make sure that next generation that's coming through, the 9th, 10th graders, 7th and 8th graders, are coming into an environment in which we left a legacy of making sure they have the right equipment to be able to learn, whatever that may be. So it's a two-way street. One, I will meet with you. I will come and I will talk to the school body about different things that they feel they need, as well as the teachers, because a divided community can grow, so only collectively can we do this. So collectively, I know that you guys have great ideas, and I will definitely talk to you. A prime example is what you're doing right now. You're asking questions that make sense, not questions that's just, oh, by the way, I'm here, let me ask. But you're actually saying, here, we want to know how we can improve our current situation. And that's a wonderful thing to see. So my promise to you is that I will meet with the Wilkinsburg, not only the school district, not only the principals, but also the school body, and talk about what your needs are.